Welcome to Then Let's Fix It, where we discuss critical issues around logistics and supply chain management in the Caribbean. But more than that, where we mobilize to resolve these issues so that we become some of the world's most attractive logistics jurisdictions. I'm your host, Collis Williams. Visit our website at rdleagle.com to join the discussion. You can also subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Google Play. And when you're done, don't forget to leave us a review. In today's episode, I want to recap a little of all that we've discussed so far. And let me not be slow to thank you all for the way you have been contributing and your interest in this podcast. It has really inspired me, and I want to take us on this episode to a meeting I had last night where Dr. Kevin Greenidge outlined to us, those at Queen's College, who were a meeting convened by Sandra Husbands, MP for that area, to go over with her constituents what the BERT program was, Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Program. And it was very inspiring, very eye-opening. And I can tell you that I walked away more confident than I ever have been in relation to Barbados's recovery. This is ours, done by our people. So let's get to it. In episode 1, we discuss the fact that in the Caribbean, there's a latent logistics attractiveness about the Caribbean. And we went over the fact that the true value of our people can only be realized if we've had the support systems for our people. We actually extended that to say that the true value of any investment, or the return on an investment, the true return on investment for any investment or investor, stands related to whether we have provided the people and the investor with the support systems to drive the investment. And we took a very stern stance because we understood that it was so critical that our people be afforded this opportunity. Now, that hasn't changed, and it won't change. And as a matter of fact, what I'm hearing last night was a leadership demonstrating that this was the only way for us to actually recover. Then we went on in episode 2 and we discussed the fact that international logistics is bound up in our people's sustainability. And we distilled the idea that the price of local mangoes had a serious impact on and a suppression effect on the price of imported mangoes. And we ruled the fact that we didn't have our own homegrown logistics solution in the Caribbean from which we can suppress the cost of international logistics to our people. We then went further where we alluded and explained the fact that because most of our jurisdictions charge duties on the cost of not only the goods, but the freight for bringing these goods, our people are exposed because the reality is somebody else decides what the international freight was to access your island. And if we leave that, it means then that our people are paying duty as a function of an item on which we have no control. That cannot remain. But we understood also, which was distilled then in episode 3, that unless we put ourselves in a position to dominate our logistics sphere, we then didn't stand a chance of being able to lever and increase our investment allure, our people's sustainability, and ultimately protect foreign exchange, which we understand and know is an important measure of the health, the financial health of an island or country. So what we suggested was that why not ring fence our logistics in the Caribbean so that it presents itself with an economy of scale and therefore attract the attention of not only the multinationals, but put us in a position where they are now fighting to get a piece of the cake. At that point, we will be in the driver's seat because we've moved from being these small, independent little islands to being a Caribbean, which together becomes a decent sized marketplace. Now, it is within that context that we can then become better masters of our destiny. So from there, we went on to a really nice episode with Benjamin Niles at Apex Construction, who outlined the need for the movement of ideas so that the efficiencies of our people starts to multiply. And I thought it was a great presentation that he brought to the table, because it actually became one of the things that was reiterated by Dr. Greenidge last night, where he outlined that the issue here is efficiencies. And then with that, and a part of efficiency and productivity, which Benjamin Niles was alluding to, he explains how that productivity actually helps the very Caribbean man or woman to multiply their profitability. So international logistics was bringing ideas and innovations and productivity and efficiencies so that the people and the investors benefit. Because ultimately, it is about allure. The people have to want to be here. The investors have to want to be in the Caribbean. And then episode 5, where we met Terry Jones, the IT guru, I call him, in which he outlined, and the statement that stands out in my mind is that we must abhor the paper form. I love that. We must abhor the paper form, because he brought to the table, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Quick is the new blue. And the facts are, if we ain't quick, as one of my famous quotes is, it's not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. And if we're not quick, the multinationals will continue to reach in with their speed of expedition in logistics and in services, and extract from our people. Well, this brings me to last night's meeting with Dr. Greenidge. And I am telling you, I met someone who is not just talking about Barbados economic recovery and transformation. He clearly lives it. He was part of the team that put it together. And he is basically here as a Barbadian saying to us, my people, this is our time. And his outline is the fact that growth. Growth is everybody's business in Barbados. And the way he outlined it, as dictated by obviously the leadership in Barbados, which is the Honorable Mayor Motley, there's something that is laid upon us. There's a charge on every Barbadian to grow. You ask me, what do you mean by grow? Well, grow in efficiency. Grow the size of your own personal economy. Grow the productivity in your own sphere. And grow the demands on service wherever you're asking for service. Whether it's the public sector, we've got a demand of them to be better. We've got a demand of the banking systems to be better. Why? Because it's within the context of that growth that our allure as a country and an island will continue to skyrocket, one. But more than that, it is within the context of that growth that our recovery is predicated. And my appeal and my whole, and the inspiration I derived last night was that I saw someone who believed and who was functioning in the context of this thing will happen, and alluring us as Bajans to come to the table and not just think big. He basically said, think bigger. So the idea is that it is a continuous effort, because growth has to be sustained for years. So the only thing you can walk away with is thinking bigger and bigger, and next year bigger again, and next year bigger again. So it brought us to a place where we ended up saying our dreams must consistently grow. Now, let's put that in context with logistics, because this growth that must become every Barbadian's business is going to substantially be founded on a pillar called logistics. Why? We import everything. And if growth is to be going to be the driving force of our recovery, then we've got to provide facilities to move cargo, ideas, and innovations into and out of Barbados in a way that the region has never seen before. I am inspired because I know not only the leadership we are now under, I can see how that leadership is filtering through the system, through a Dr. Greenwich, and into the people of Barbados. And I am charged and ready to be a part of this growth. We've got each one to think bigger, faster, better. Thank you so much for listening. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on this episode. Simply join the discussion forum on our website, rdleagle.com. You can also contact me at collis@rdleagle.com. See you next time on Then Let's Fix It. There's so much more to discuss.